Okay, maniacs, if you know me at all by watching this channel and by my background, you know I'm a science fiction and fantasy junkie. I love that stuff. Well, someone recommends to me a Tamil sci-fi film that I got to see. Okay, so I'm excited about this. Is it the Star Wars of Tamil cinema? No. The film was recommended by LOKKKWW7X, Lock W7X. And the film is 2018's Tick, Tick, Tick. It's not about a bug getting in your skin, it's about a clock. It's directed by Shakti Soundar Rajan. The cast is Ravi Mohan, who is in PS2, Nivetha Pethuraj, Aaron Aziz, Ramesh Thalak, who I've seen in Vikram, and Arjunan. I'm not going to do a separate section for factoids, but I'll just give you two quick ones. This film was billed as India's first space movie, which isn't accurate because the first one was 1963's Katai Arasi. So, false statement. Maybe first Tamil, I guess. And obviously, this is inspired by the horrible, horrible 1998 Michael Bay film, Armageddon. Okay. But let's get to the review. Okay. I want to do this right because I think if I saw this film like streaming, not in the theater, which is the way I watched it. I watched it streaming. I think it was a far better experience than it would have been had I gone to the theater because it definitely has a made for TV look to it. Now, I'm sure the budget was very small, and I think they did quite well with the budget that they had if this were for TV. If this was in the movie theater, it would have been a bigger issue for me. The story, and it is Armageddon, a giant meteorite is heading for the Earth, specifically India. And 20 million people are going to die. Oh, wait, what was the number they said? I should probably be more accurate. I think it was 20 million, if I remember right. So they have to destroy the meteorite, but no other country will help them. So they have to do it on their own. And they're going to do it by stealing a 200 kiloton nuclear bomb that is located on a space station. But it's a foreign government's space station. So they have to get people to steal it and then launch it into the meteorite. So it's a little Ocean's 11 and Armageddon. So Ravi Mohan's character, Vasu, is a magician and master thief. And they recruit him and his cohorts, a hacker, a guy who can contort himself right out of Ocean's 11, by the way, to fit in small spaces. And the military, who is also along on the mission. And Ravi, or Vasu, excuse me, has a son who is the reason why he does this, because he's trying to save his son. And so that's the story. So they get on the space station, they've got to steal it, and they've got to blow it up. And they are successful in both of those things. Now, how do they get there? We'll talk about that. But as far as the story goes, it was a ripoff of Armageddon and Ocean's 11 and a little of Now You See Him, Now You Don't. So I give the story a 5. I mean, it's nothing new. But there were some great scenes in this. And I'll tell you, a lot of the special effects were pretty good. Some were terrible. But a lot of the no gravity stuff was pretty good. And at the end, they show you in the credits, they show you how some of it was made. And I like that part of it too. So there were stuff in here that looked good. Some looked terrible, but some looked good. Um, so there's a scene where they're giving you the backstory of all the characters, and he's trying to steal a gun out of a police station to so an innocent man will go free. So he goes in there dressed as a cop, and it's a great scene where he manages to get the gun, but he's got to hide it, and he's got to hide himself from the police who figure out who he is. And then the gun ends up outside where his cohorts are. So they're giving you a little taste of what this guy's like. A lot of misdirection, which is an important part of the story. Now, I actually wrote this down. It's not a great scene. It's a WTF scene. Okay? They crash land their shuttle because Vasu sabotaged the shuttle because someone kidnapped his son. So they have to crash land on the moon, which they do with no landing gear. Now you're saying to yourself, why is that WTF? Because there's hardly any damage to the shuttle, and they still manage to take off later on. And in space, no one's that stupid. So that was crazy. And some of the special effects, and I'll show a clip of some of the effects, but I some of the special effects were pretty good. Like there's a scene of, they make this big deal out of the pilot, who's a military guy, is going to be the first Indian to step on the moon. But Vasu trips and ends up as the first Indian on the moon. And I thought that was kind of funny. And there was a lot of funny stuff in this. Like his friends who were part of his gang were very funny. But there was also like the villain, the guy who ran the space station. He's got this. He talks in English, but he's got an accent. Now they don't tell you where they're from. But at one point he says where they're from, but there's no sound when he gives the name. And then another point, and this happened real fast, and I had to look this up. They give coordinates, 89.8067 north, 221.5285 east. So I look it up. It's located in the Arctic Ocean, and it's very close to the North Pole. It's on north of Russia. Now, they were not Russian accents, but they probably could have been Russians. But I thought that was pretty funny. And then the other great scene that I really liked, he does a spacewalk. And, you know, in a lot of space movies, in space, because you're in a vacuum, there's no sound. But most movies don't care. So when you hear an explosion, you know, it's big and loud. Well, it never would be in space because there's no air. So they did that in this. And the only thing you could hear was his breathing, which made it even creepier as he's doing a spacewalk. So I really liked that. And then at the end, the other scene I really liked, because there's two endings to this. The bad guy, who ends up being a high up military guy who turned against him and was sabotaging the thing the whole time. They figure it out. So as they're getting their medals, Vasu says something to him, and his team is walking away from this guy, and the guy pulls out a gun. So you're like, oh, God, he's going to shoot one of these guys. Well, they close up on Vasu, and you hear the shot in the background, and the guy's on the ground with blood coming down from his head. Now, this is a very friendly, a family-friendly movie. I mean, that scene, I mean, you don't see anything. And even the guns that they use, like on the space station, are more like, I think they're like dart guns. They're not bullets. So no one's really getting killed, really. So the performances were fine. I mean, it's a made-for-TV movie as far as I'm concerned. The performances kind of fit that. They were funny. I like this Ravi, the guy who played Vasu. He was very charismatic. He was good. He had a great presence. He had a good chemistry with the female lead, Nivetha. And so the performance, I mean, they were fine. I gave him a 6. Overall, you know, you have to go into it. Small budget sci-fi, right? So you're not going to get blown away by the special effects. You've seen the story already, right? But if you're Tamil or if you're just Indian and you want to see an Indian sci-fi movie, I think it's good. It definitely, even though some of the stuff that happens in it is ridiculous, and it is, and there were a few times where I'm like, really, really, that's somehow doable. You're going to do that in this film, but in the end, I like the people in it. I wanted to know what was going to happen, uh, and it's not a long movie. It's short, so it's a very easy watch. So knowing that, I'm going to give it a 6. But it is a made for TV movie. It's not a theatrical movie. Okay. Okay. That's my review of Tick, Tick, Tick. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comment section. Am I crazy? Was it the best thing you ever saw? Now, there were a lot of people gave it a 1, because of the implausibility of some of the stuff, but that didn't bother me. It was a fun movie, and I can also see if you're bringing a family to a film, kids are going to love this movie. So that's kind of how I looked at it. All right. If you haven't already, if you're not one of the 4,320 maniacs that have subscribed to the channel, then do me a favor. Please subscribe. Hit the notification button. Hit the like button. Why? Because when you like it, when you comment, YouTube puts out the video. And it affects the algorithm so we can build the maniac community one maniac at a time. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with another movie review, a trailer reaction, or a song reaction. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.